The United States of America seems to be losing a key ally in the Persian Gulf amid the protracted war with Iran. Saudi Arabia has unexpectedly banned the United States from using its military bases and airspace for operations against Iran, which forced Donald Trump to suspend the mission he had announced, Project Freedom, just 36 hours after it began. Let me explain right away. Project Freedom was presented by Donald Trump as an operation to ensure the passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz amid the Iranian blockade using American naval forces. But at the same time, it turned out that the passage of ships was quite possible even without the US. The United Arab Emirates, as it turned out, recently managed to mysteriously transfer several oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. And let's discuss this together. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this together. But before we start, please subscribe to this channel, like this episode, and leave any comment under this video. This really helps a lot with promoting the content on YouTube, and I would be grateful to you for that. So, let's start this episode with breaking news announced by NBC News, citing two American officials, Saudi Arabia. Arabia has forbidden the United States of America from using its military bases and even its airspace for an operation against Iran. And this happened on May 5th. As it turned out, this was exactly what forced Donald Trump to urgently and abruptly suspend the operation he had announced, Project Freedom, just 36 hours after it started. Project Freedom was presented by Donald Trump as an operation in which American military forces would escort merchant ships and tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, protecting them from Iran. Although Donald Trump himself later claimed that he actually stopped this operation because he was supposedly asked to do so by Pakistan and a number of other unnamed countries. They said, "Donald Trump, please suspend this operation. There is no need to carry it out. Under no circumstances should you escort merchant ships through the Strait of Hormuz, as this is supposedly the beginning of another chapter of successful negotiations with Iran." And according to NBC News, Donald Trump unexpectedly announced the launch of Project Freedom on Sunday afternoon on social media, which caught the US allies in the Persian Gulf off guard and caused open irritation in Saudi Arabia. They stated that they are frankly tired of Donald Trump constantly putting them at risk and not even warning them, let alone consulting with his allies. He decided to do the operation without caring about the allies. As a result, Riyadh lost patience and directly notified Washington that it would not allow American troops to use the Prince Sultan Air Base southeast of Riyadh, nor Saudi airspace. Like, you want to carry out the operation? Yes, go ahead, carry it out, but then without us, that's it, enough of these games. By the way, it was reported that even Israel didn't know about Trump's plans to carry out the operation, let alone that the US was apparently negotiating with Iran for just a formal end to the war. I talked about this in detail in the previous episode, why I say formal, why I say it's just a temporary agreement to cool things down a bit. I covered this in detail in the last episode on this YouTube channel, so watch it if you haven't already. And so, according to NBC's sources, the phone conversation between Trump and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman did not help resolve the issue. Bin Salman said, "No, you will no longer use our airspace or our bases." As a result, the US president had to put Project Freedom on hold. Other close US allies in the region were also not prepared for this operation in advance. Trump contacted the Qatari leadership only after the mission had already begun and simply presented them with a fait accompli. An NBC source among Middle Eastern diplomats also said that the US did not coordinate this Project Freedom with Oman, again before Trump's post on social media. But the White House said that, quote, regional allies were actually notified in advance. But such a move by Saudi Arabia is very telling. The United States of America was relying specifically on aircraft at Prince Sultan in Saudi Arabia, fighter jets, refueling planes, and air defense systems. Riyadh had always allowed the use of the base for war with Iran before this. It also provided an air corridor for planes. Military aircraft were critically important for the implementation of Project Freedom, because they were supposed to provide air cover for ships, merchant vessels, and tankers. That was exactly what the focus was on. And when the Saudis said no, the airspace is closed and the planes won't take off, Trump abruptly stated, okay, we're suspending it. The Trump administration is now trying to push for a diplomatic resolution to the war with Iran, and the Iranian Foreign Ministry representative Esmail Pechiy stated that Tehran is studying the new peace proposal from the US. Trump himself wrote on social media on Wednesday morning that the war could end if Iran agrees to give what has already been agreed upon. Speaking in the Oval Office, the US president said there were good talks with Iran and assured that Tehran wants to make a deal. But, as it turned out later, the overconfident Donald Trump and his operation in the Hormuz Strait were in for a surprise. It turned out that the United Arab Emirates had recently transferred several oil tankers through the Hormuz Strait. To avoid possible attacks from Iran, the ships had their transponders, which broadcast their location, turned off. While other Persian Gulf countries, Iraq, Kuwait, and Qatar, either completely stopped exports, significantly lowered prices to attract buyers, or, like Saudi Arabia, sent oil exclusively through the Red Sea, the Emirates decided to take the risk. According to vessel tracking data from Kepler and satellite data analysis by Sinmax, the state oil company Abu Dhabi National Oil Company managed to export at least 6 million barrels of oil in April on 4 tankers from terminals in the Persian Gulf. It is noted that the cargoes were either transferred ship to ship and then delivered to refineries in Southeast Asia, unloaded for storage in Oman, or sent directly to a refinery in South Korea. And it was one of these tankers, which was heading to South Korea, that eventually came under fire from Iran. That happened when the United States of America began its operation to unblock the strait and, drew unnecessary attention from Iran. So, once again, the Emirates managed to slip through the strait. Then Trump says, launch the operation, but the Emirates keep sending their tankers through. And when Trump drew attention, that's when that tanker got hit. As a result, the Emirates was subjected to a massive attack by Iran, which apparently realized it was being deceived. On Monday, the first day of Donald Trump's operation, the United Arab Emirates accused Iran of attacking the empty oil tanker Baraka using drones. So the question is how the Gulf countries came to view Donald Trump's initiatives and whether they bring more harm or benefit. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. You can do this by donating through the links and details provided. In the description of this video, choose any format that's convenient for you. I would appreciate your support, or you can use the QR code on your screens. This is the easiest way to support the work of this channel. And subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pechiy News. The link is also in the description of this video. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone. Subtitles.